Alright, today we're having a look at Carp by Terra. Alright, so here we're having a bit of a second look, well more than a second look, at an old classic level, Carp by Terra. Now this is actually an LBP 1 era level. It was originally published 2008, but was republished in 2011. I don't know how I screwed that up. I feel really dumb. Okay, so that's actually just background. I've played this level a couple of times actually, but I haven't played it recently, I want to say. But it is a very solid example of LBP 1 era level design. It's really, really good. So it's most likely going to be a green circle unless I notice something that really screws up that I didn't notice before, but I don't think that I will. Now, basically, I mean, what we got here is a very, very straightforward platforming level. Hi, my brain just completely stopped. It's a very straightforward platforming level. There's not a lot of thrills. There's not a lot of spills, so to speak. Just a little bit of neatness to get us going through our day. As you can see, there's a fair amount of environmental interaction. It's not a static environment, which is something that I always appreciate. It is a very stripped down environment. And that does lend it to be quite a long level, all things considered. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot to be done, because Terra's working with a relatively limited, hope we didn't need those, a relatively limited material palette and a relatively limited sticker palette. So there's not a lot that's taking up the thermometer beyond just straight up gameplay type stuff. Now the cameras, they could be a little bit better. I will give them that. Nice little bloodstain there. I forgot completely about this thing. That's not good. That's not good at all. I mean, I like the thing. The thing is good, but forgetting about it, maybe not for the best. Whoa. But yes, it's a very nice example of the kind of well-done platforming style that we saw in Little Big Planet 1. Little Big Planet 1 is... question mark? Question mark? What has Mark done? Why do we need to question him? There are, hi, brain, please. Why do I need this? I don't recall. Does this go up? Button goes up, button goes up. So nice little mechanical gameplay elements going on there, something that I've always appreciated, because the LBP1, even the logic was kind of physics based. Do I need to be up there? Probably not. Probably not important. I'm gonna skip that. No, please. I need to go up, thank you. Even the logic largely had to be physics based, so you do see, I feel like, wait a minute, was this level really this short? Why am I thinking of... maybe I'm thinking of a different level. Surprise! Looks like we wrap things up, and that's perfectly okay. Carp by Terra. A little bit longer than 3 minutes this go about. I wanted to have a 5-minute look at, because I thought that the level was much beefier in my mind, and now I feel kind of foolish. But we're going to talk about this more at the hub, and we'll see you there. See yas! And we're back! And Carp by Terra, and I do think it is a green circle. It's maybe a bit of a softer green circle for some folks, but it's definitely not what I expected I was going to be able to show you today. I don't know what level I was thinking of, what level I thought Carp was. This is definitely not the first time that I've played Carp, and it's tracked on the information page that I have played it before, and I think I played it a couple of times, but this is not what I was expecting. I was expecting something that was a lot beefier than what we got. This is actually a relatively short level, all things considered. It's only about maybe 4-ish minutes long, and that's if you're kind of dawdling along. It's something that you can easily get through in a single play session. You don't really need to budget your time for this, and I think that is pretty helpful. The one that I was thinking of was closer to like 15 or 20 minutes, so clearly my brain diverged at some point, my memory diverged at some point, and I'm remembering something different than what we actually got. But for what we got, and it's an extremely enjoyable, relatively straightforward and simple platform level. There's not really going to be too much here that's going to give people trouble. There are a couple of places where you can die, but you'd probably have to try pretty hard to actually die in those places. Now, one thing to point out, as I usually do when we're looking at things that are not LBP3, is that this level is fully playable. There is nothing missing, there's nothing broken in the level if you're playing this in LBP3, even though it is originally an LBP1 level and was republished in LBP2. I'm not sure entirely why it was republished. There really wasn't much done to the level to change it from LBP1 to LBP2. The only thing that I really noticed was that there's a little bit of hologram material as decoration in the level. It is purely decoration. It doesn't really add or detract anything from the gameplay of the level itself, but that's the only thing that I felt like I could notice was an actual LBP2 hallmark. Everything else is very LBP1 era, and you've got like the very simple presentation style. It's only using a couple of materials. We've got the paper material that we see for most of the level. You've got a little bit of glass material, some grabbable material, and that's basically it. There's also very little in the way of decoration. It's very sparse, but I think that it shows that you can make a visually interesting level even if you're not using a lot of materials, even if you're not using a lot of decorations, if you've got a really good vision for how the level is supposed to look. And I think Carp definitely has that vision. There are a few places where you can interact with the level and the pull switches and make things rise up and things like that, and I always appreciate that in levels. I really really liked the jetpack sections of the level where you had to rotate bits around to trigger logic so that the level would progress. I thought that was well handled, and I thought that it was pretty cool. And of course we've got our Killdozer style boss, question mark. We get chased along by that. We saw that fairly often in LBP1 levels. I think this one looks pretty nice. It is actually pretty cool. It's not particularly difficult to get away from. There aren't very many obstacles in your path during that flight away from the Killdozer. So it's something that you can enjoy, but it's probably not something that's going to end up actually killing you. So that's kind of nice. As I said, it's the level is a lot sparser than I was expecting. The level is a lot shorter than I was imagining, but it's certainly something that I had a very, very good time with, and I think is a good example of simple, basic platforming design. And it's something I think that players that are looking to make their own platformers should give a play through and just see how this is done and how pace is kept, because I think the pace is kept fairly solidly throughout this level. Now, the reason that we're doing the Carp today is that Kronos had been mentioning Carp many times. Carp is one of Kronos's absolute favorite levels, and I finally thought, you know, why don't we take a look at this and get a bit of a deeper dig into it. I'm very glad that we did it, but I think that I've said basically everything that I need to at this point. Play Carp. It's good. It's very, very good. And from me, Risco, here in Osaka, to all of you out there, wherever you may happen to be, thank you. Arigato. Arigato. Sayonara. See you, and ciao.